Welcome, everyone. Welcome to tonight's presentation that's called Putting the Power of the Hertz, the terahertz frequency to work for you. Hi, I'm Renee McLaughlin, and I am so excited that you are joining me tonight to learn all about this beautiful, what I love to call the magic wand. So as you can see, tonight we're going to be live streaming it in different places instead of doing it via Zoom, but no worries. There's still a place over on comments. Please ask your questions, share your testimonials, any comments, hearts if you want to give me those. I'm always about the hearts. So you are still with me, and I'd still love to have any of your conversations. You can even post where you're coming from. So let's get right to it. This morning, I got to tell you, this is what just makes doing this so fulfilling for me. I woke up this morning and I had a couple of emails just telling me the results that people are getting from this beautiful wand. One of my dear friends was using it and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Renee, we've had it for 2 weeks. And I love it when women say this. And even my husband is impressed." Now, girls, when the husband is impressed, there is something going on here. I love that. He had had some really very painful knees. Nothing was really helping. So he started to, of course, drink the water, wand the knees, and now his knees are so much better. And of course, that can turn a skeptical husband around, can it not? Absolutely. And then I had somebody else, again with the husband, say, and she had come on earlier in another Zoom and asked, was it okay to want a shoulder if it had some stem cell surgery in it or some stem cell therapy? And I said, yes, thank goodness. And she said, well, we've been using it and his shoulder is getting better and better and better. And he is so excited. So I love that. So we'll have more testimonials to go. But for now, let's go ahead and start this presentation for you. And hey, Lynn Ray from Mississippi, thanks for letting me know you're here. And if you have any questions, please make sure that you ask them down in the comments. All right. So let's get started. I always have to start with my disclaimer. So let me start with the disclaimer. It is not, just so you guys know, it's not medical equipment. Okay. It's simply a certified household electrical device. And so that's why it's so important for you all to understand why if you ask specific medical questions, I'm not allowed to answer them. We can't answer those. But in all truth and honesty, we can't answer them because it's not a medical device. All we can do is tell you exactly what is happening when we turn that blower on and blow into our bodies. And that's what I'm going to do today. So you can always consult your doctor or other healthcare professional with any questions regarding medical conditions. All right, we got that out of the way. Let's move on. So I talk about having a terrific day, the terahertz frequency, but what the heck is this? Well, what's really fascinating is we seem like we've got just now sort of hearing about terahertz because of the wand, but actually in 2004, the US government named terahertz technology as one of the top 10 technologies that was absolutely going to change the world. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We have this beautiful wand that has the terahertz frequency coming out, so we can use it as a self-healing device, but it's also being used in all kinds of different places, in medicine, in aviation, in water, in other social environments. So it is just out there now, and definitely that changing the future, it is so true. That frequency is actually between microwaves and infrared. It's this very specific band and a very specific volume of terahertz. That particular volume that they've been able to get from this wand is exactly the same frequency resonance, okay, as a human healthy cell. Keep that in mind as we go through and talk about what's going on. The scientists have even called it the wave of life, the healthy human cell, the light of life, and even God's wave band. That's pretty powerful. And those are scientists who are working with this frequency and just blown away by it. All right, let's go to the next slide. So this wand, actually, yes, it has the terahertz, but it actually has three core technologies that make it so powerful. All right, we talked about the terahertz, and I'm going to tell you more and more about what's happening with the terahertz frequency, but it also is blowing out quantum or scalar energy. And this particular energy also energizes the cells. It balances our body systems, strengthens our body, producing healthy energy, and penetrates deep into our vital organs. We'll keep going with that one. And then it has an optical quartz technology. And these are minerals, etc., that are in this wand that when we blow it, it actually helps get out and penetrate deep into the body. It's been shown that it mimics about 1/40th of the sunlight's energy and strengthens the auric fields in the body and around it. And if you don't know what that is, our bodies all give off an auric field that protects our energy field. And you can actually see this in something called Kirlian photography that will show exactly what it looks like and how far it radiates out. So we've got all three of the core technologies in all of our devices. All right. I love this particular slide because for me, this really gives me a beautiful visual about what's happening. So when you look at the frequency of a regular normal, or energy, I should say, of a normal cell, it's about 20 to 25 millivolts. So I kind of liken almost this particular thing to our cell phones, right? So our cell phones, when we first turn them on, they're charged up. The energy is good, right? We've got a good energy. And over time and usage, we're using it, we're using it, we're using it. Before you know it, we have to recharge the cell phone, right? Well, guess what? Healthy human cells are the same way. We've got this normal cell, it's got that millivolt. But then what happens? We get a bad diet, we get some stress, little radiation, little acidity, toxicity, and pretty soon the amount of energy that each of our cells is giving starts to go down. And when it gets to about 15 millivolts, that's when we start creating inflammation. And we all know that inflammation is a huge cause of chronic illness, systemic inflammation. Then we continue to add radiation and stress and toxicity. And before you know it, that cell is in an abnormal state. Maybe it's down to 10 millivolts. Then what happens is we give the terahertz energy, the scalar energy. What are we doing? We're plugging our bodies right into that energy field. And now it's charged back up and we have an optimized cell. That's what's happening. That's why, as we start to use it more and more, we start to open up, balance the body, and then we start to really feel that beautiful energy. All right. So, what else is happening when we turn on that blower? So, when you understand this part, then you can actually answer your own questions, like, does it help with X and O and V? Okay, think about what it's doing. Number one, it's going to eliminate unhealthy cells. Now, let me explain to you how that happens. We just talked about what happens with our healthy cells. It charges them back up. Okay, it's like the battery pack. But what happens when you have unhealthy cells? Cells that are abnormal should not be there, right? Cells that aren't multiplying correctly. I don't want to say the C word, any of the C words, but some of the C words, bacteria, viruses, etc. Well, when you put a frequency in that's not that same, it will help make these vibrate, and they vibrate really, 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 really quickly. And then what happens is they basically liquefy and they're eliminated out of the body. This is that detoxy part, okay? That's what's happening. It will get rid of unhealthy cells and it will also activate inert cells. We actually have a lot of cells in the body that just are charged up, they're inert. It's going to give them that. It's going to increase the temperature, and there we go. It's going to increase our body's self-healing ability. So I don't know if you guys realize this. I didn't until I started really studying, but even our DNA replicates. Okay. I don't remember. I think it's about like every 3 to 6 months. I don't remember exactly how much, but it's always replicating. So if the DNA is getting some where it's not replicating in the right way with our correct blueprint, then we start to go down that road. But what this does is it actually strengthens our DNA in the organic molecules and then resonates with our cells to enhance cell repair. It also, and I love this one, it clears meridians and lymph points. So, one of the things you're going to notice with the wand information, especially as you go out and explore, that this wand was actually designed based on traditional Chinese medicine. You know, the Chinese, so amazing, 3,000 years ago, were able to map out what they called the meridian lines. Because you know what? In Chinese medicine, they see this body as all part of the environment, part of everything going on. In Western, our Western mind, we tend to isolate everything into parts, don't we? That's why we have one doctor for the eye and one doctor for the foot, right? Everything is all isolated. So we just work with symptomology with this isolation. Not in traditional Chinese medicine. They understand that it's not isolated, everything works together. So when there is a dis-ease in the body, they say there is an energy blockage. There's something blocking because when all the energy is flowing and everything is moving beautifully, there is no dis-ease in the system. So when you turn on that blower, what are you doing? You're unblocking the meridians, you're unblocking energy. Acupuncture, it's been around for thousands of years. They use those tiny, beautiful needles in order to unblock. But guess what? Now you don't even have to use needles. I don't want to say don't go to acupuncturists. There's absolute huge value to that. But in between your sessions, how nice to have a blower that you can blow. You don't even have to be super specific, but it's going to unblock all those. It also unblocks our lymphatic system. And the lymphatic system is the system that helps our body detox from our constant barrage of toxicity in the environment, in the air, in our thoughts, in our emotions. We need to unblock all that. So, thinking about clearing and unblocking is a beautiful way to look at what we're doing with the wand. Activating dormant stem cells, I'll talk to you about that in just a second. It improves microcirculation. So, one of the things that we know of, along with opening the energy channels, is it also dilates. It goes in and it helps to dilate or open up even the tiny micro blood vessels. And it reduces what we call the viscosity of the blood, which is that thickness. So, toxicity, emotional problems, etc., our blood tends to get thick and it clumps. And when that happens, you don't get good circulation. So it's really able to reduce that thickness. It allows everything to flow so much better. So you're opening up the energy channels, you're allowing everything to flow. Circulation gets so much better. Over here, let's go right into reduces and removes body humidity, excess, edema, any place external to the cell where those the fluid is just packing up. It will help to get rid of a lot of that. You're going to see that down when we go into testimonials. Have a beautiful before and after picture showing you that. Regulates glands. It regulates all of our endocrine glands. And those glands are always sending out messages through the whole body. So if you have some issue with any of the endocrine glands, it causes problems all the way up and down the whole system. So that is such a beautiful thing. Let's go to the next thing. So you're starting to understand what's happening. Now, two of our favorite little people that give us great information, like Hippocrates, which was the ancient Greek father of medicine. Hippocrates said, if there is a way to heat the bones, then all diseases can be treated. How did he know that? Because he was the ancient Greek father of medicine. And Einstein said the future of medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. Einstein understood what? That everything is energy. Everything in the body, it's energy and information. When there's a blockage in the energy, there's a dis-ease. Heat the bones, add the frequency, and blow directly on the spine. Why? Because in our spine, really in our bones, the spine, the hips, I've even been told sometimes up in the sinus, in that cavity with the bone, that is where our body actually has a ton of what we call latent, stem cells. So you guys have probably heard of stem cell therapy. It's when the doctors can find stem cells that they get sometimes from all the different places that they get them, and they will directly do a shot into different joints like knees and shoulders. And the idea of that is stem cells will travel to whatever needs to be fixed or added to. Okay, I'm not using the right words, but you guys kind of get what I'm saying, right? So in the knees, it helps to create more ligaments and tendons, possibly bone, okay, depending. And you get injected, and it can take a little while to really see the results. I know I had Dr. Kim on here. A few weeks ago, and she was talking about that and saying, stem cell therapy can take up to 3 to 6 months before you really notice a big difference. Well, guess what? We can blow directly into our spine, and it helps to activate our body's own stem cell therapy. And I know we can't really see a lot of this, but each of the different places here corresponds to a different body part. So it's a huge part of the therapy that we use. Heat the bones. When we blow this beautiful wand out, we're getting radiant heat. And you're going to know this because one of the things that so many of my clients will say to me is, oh, Renee, just feeling that heat in the body just was so soothing. It really is all part of the therapy. Heat the bones. And that's what Hippocrates said. And here we go. That's another big reason. All right. Now, this device, only through Prife International, okay? Only through Prife. This is the device that has the patents. It is the device that has passed all the safety tests, the efficacy tests, electronic conformity, and human clinical reports. Right now, there are a lot of knockoffs. Why? Because, wow, like knockoff companies they go in and they watch trends, and this is exploding all over the globe. And when that happens, they're like, okay, how can we get in, make it cheaper? Well, that's what they did. And guess what? It has taken these scientists, and these are scientists who are studying terahertz frequencies. They started about 6-7 years ago. The first device in American dollars was over $400,000, but they just kept refining it and keeping the efficacy of it. And now our premium wand, which we'll see in a minute, it's already 5th generation. Now you tell me how a knockoff company can get that type of science and technology behind it in a couple of months, create a knockoff that's going to work. It doesn't. So do not be fooled. You cannot get this on Amazon or eBay. Be very careful. The Prife. I say that because I've seen so many people now, think they're getting it, think, well, I'm not going to go through a distributor and use their weird links. I'm just going to do this. Not going to work. Here are the 62 clinical test reports issued by the Beijing Research Institute of Chemical Technology. We hold the patents and the efficacy. All right, enough of all that. Here we go. User friendly. How cool is this? If some of you have already been really working with energy machines and instruments, I have for years, the Rife, the Healy, there's so many out there, and they're fabulous working with frequencies. Well, what did Einstein say? That is the new medicine. But I will say that they can have a pretty big user. It takes a while to learn how to use them, okay? Not with this. You know what? This is so user-friendly. You turn it on and you blow. You can't do it wrong, okay? So don't worry about that. And you can see you can use these on babies. You can use them on the elderly. You can use them on plants, on pets, on your food. Use it. Just putting that beautiful frequency can only help. It's 100% safe. I want you to know that as well. So you can see these people are doing it on each other, on themselves. I do want to mention this lady right here. I love this one. She's sitting on her back, and doesn't she just look like she's just there in dreamland? So some of the protocols, as we see from before, is blowing on our spine. So if you live by yourself or you don't have anybody that wants to stand there and wand you up and down, you can still wand your back. How? You do it from the front and you go up and down. Now, why does that work? Because the frequencies penetrate deep into the body, deep into the bone, about 30 centimeters. So the spine, right, is in the center. You got the front and you got the back. And when you go to the center, it gets both ways, does it not? So you can wand from the front. Don't have to worry about that. All right. Who is it suitable for, or what should I say is it suitable for? All those inflammations. Remember that screen that I was showing you where as soon as toxicity and everything happened, those our regular cells start to get inflamed? Yes, that's why. All kinds of inflammation. So take a look if it was something that you might have that you want to help yourself heal or feel better from. Is it something that could help if it's inflamed? Then you can pick and blow. Rhinitis, gastritis, gynecological inflammation, prostatitis, anything that ends in an itis, good for. Let's go to pain. Shoulder and neck pain, so helpful for that. Joint pain, low back pain, headaches, dysmenorrhea, sciatica. All these things are helped tremendously with the wand. Various blockages. We talked a little bit about that. Meridian blockages, lymphatic blockage, varicose veins, the microcirculation, and the meridian blockages. You blow in there, and some people get amazing results quickly. For some, it takes some time to get through the blockages. Okay, so you just stay with it. Weight loss, I'll talk about that in a second. Insomnia, diabetes, high and low blood pressure. It helps all of those things. And it is so good for various skin conditions. Acne, scars, blemishes, great for anti-aging, for wrinkles, for tightening up. And a lot of skin issues are also caused because of various kinds of, the I word, inflammation. All right, let's go on. But there are some things and people that are not recommended for. Let's talk about that. Not recommended for pregnant women. No, no, no. And for menstruation. Menstruation, I always have a little caveat, which is I have had several clients absolutely love doing it during, even before, especially before, you guys, because when you start to get that cramping and you're not feeling great down there, you're going to wand that belly. The heat on there feels so good. And even for some women with cramps, they've wanded and really just soared through their monthly cycle. For others, it can cause a heavier bleeding. Right. So that's something to just be aware of. You see, if you want to try it, go slow with it, and then you see how your body responds to that. Acute diseases. All of a sudden something happens, you go to the doctor, you go to the hospital. That's not what this is for. People with anything congenital heart, congenital diseases, don't want to do that. Objects implanted. This is the big one. Anything that is in your body that was not there, put in by some doctor or others that you were not born with, you do not want over it. Okay. What does that include? That includes stents. That includes knee replacements, hip replacements. That includes teeth implants. That includes breast implants. Okay. That includes anything implanted. Please do not want over it. Okay. I get questions about this all the time. The answer is yes, you can wand. Do not wand over it. Enough said. Open wounds and fractures. You don't want to wand there. Wait for it to start to heal, and then you can do that. All right, let's talk about these beautiful devices because we now have 3 of these gorgeous wands. All 3 of them have all the 3 top core technologies. Okay, so of course we have what we call our beautiful magic wand, the Red Classic. $350. And all these, by the way, are in US. This is to the United States. If you're watching this and have questions about other countries, please just ask. It can be different. These prices also include the shipping. It is great for personal use. It has 3 settings on it. It does have a little cooler with a high blow. It has a lower blow, medium heat, and a high blow, high heat. And I want to mention something about the heat. The heat is part of the therapy. In traditional Chinese medicine, they're very much about using heat. They understand the power of that. Western, not as much. Okay. So you kind of work with it. I get questions all the time. What's better? Use heat, don't use heat, do setting 1, 2, and 3. The answer is it's up to you. All three settings are going to work beautifully. And I find with certain parts of my body, I can use higher heat than others. So you do want to, though, try to use as much heat as is comfortable, depending on where you're going. So I hope that answers that question. Now, the next one is our newest premium. Let me show you what that looks like. I love this one. It's 1050. It is for personal or clinical use, doesn't matter. But you can see it's much lighter. It has a great hand feel. It is much better built. I will say that absolutely about it. And this one is the 5th generation. It's actually the most efficient wand. And it does only have 2 settings. It has low blow and medium heat and a higher blow with a very high heat. Okay. And it's very efficient. What do I mean by that? Well, it is a little bit more powerful. And so when you go to do your treatment, you don't have to do it quite as long. And I know people want exact. Well, tell me now, if I normally do the classic for 30 minutes, do I do this one for 15? I don't have an exact answer for that. That's something you have to play with, but it's definitely more powerful. And the last one is what we call our Pro. And this one is for pros. Okay, it's great for clinic use, 3,500. It's got 6 settings. It does actually even have a cold shot. But I will tell you, it is a little bit heavier. It's very well made. It comes in a beautiful case that you can roll. The premium also comes in a really nice case, so it's great for traveling. So those are your 3 options. All right, for the wands. But they're all fantastic and they all do everything that we've talked about already. Now, you first get your wand, you're super excited. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? The very first thing you're going to do when you pull it out is you are going to wand your water. I'll show you how to do that in a second. And why? The water and drinking we just call it the wanded water. When you drink that wanded water, it is a huge part of the therapy. What happens when you blow into your water, and we only blow into glass? It takes the water from clustered structures. That's just how our water is, to a linear structure. Why does that matter? Because when it's in a cluster, it's bigger and it's not as able to actually get into our cells, to hydrate the cells and allow those cells to get that hydration, and also then through movement, lymphatic pumping, to then go like this. I call it like a sponge, to kind of go like this and get rid of the toxicity in the cell and then come back and hydrate. So you want to have water that is structured whatever you can. That linear structure now is small enough that it actually gets right into our body cells and hydrates us. I would say that probably 99% of the people walking around on this planet, we are chronically dehydrated. And just hydrating ourselves makes a huge difference in how we feel. You can see all these benefits of simply drinking the wanded water. And we have some beautiful pictures of what happens under dark field microscope, which you take a drop of blood before you do it. You kind of see it and it's clumpy and moving around. It's kind of thick. And then we drink the wanded water, wait maybe about a minute, and then we look again. And it's amazing all of a sudden the blood's not clumped and everything is moving around. So we know absolutely this makes a huge difference, but you can feel it. So many benefits for that. All right. So how do I wand my water? Let's just talk a few minutes about how to do it. It's beautiful. You always want to wand in through glass. Okay, not through plastic. Now, guess what? Terahertz does go through plastic. It's not that it doesn't, it does. But you don't want to get microparticles of plastic in your water. We're trying to get this water as clean as possible. Okay, so you don't want through plastic. You don't want through metal. It's not going to go through metal, but it goes through beautiful glass. You want to put the cleanest water that you can get into there. Okay, spring water, reverse osmosis water. You get however you're filtering, you want to put clean water in there. Now, then you wand right through it. So let's talk about this. I personally get a huge big glass like this, as you can see. I fill it up for my day, and then I set my wand right here on the side. I like to lift it up a little bit. Would it really matter if it was in the bottom? No, but this is just how I do it. I have a big fat book, and I put a little towel over it because I like to baby my wand, and I turn it on. I turn it on setting 1, mainly because what I do is I just put it on there, turn it on, and I go away and I leave it there for a good 5 till I get distracted. Imagine that. 10 minutes maybe, and I just want, no, you don't have to go 10 minutes. You can't really overdo it. So I go at least 5 minutes. And I just don't want my wand heating up too much. So that's why I do it on 1. Now, here we go. My water is now wanded. I'm ready to drink. I personally drink it all day. For some people, if you're super sensitive to everything, just start maybe with 1 to 2 cups and see how your body does. But I use it for everything. Now, let's talk about the temperature. Frequencies are more active when they are warm. Okay, so can you take this water and make your coffee or tea? Yes, absolutely. You can boil it. That makes them even more active. Hey, Renee, I really prefer cold water. I want to put it in the fridge or put ice cubes in it. Will that be okay? Well, here's the bottom line. You're going to be safe. Nothing bad's going to happen to you. But honest answer is you're not going to get as much benefit from those frequencies because they slow down. They're not as active in cold water. And quite frankly, again, let's take this from Chinese medicine. They're very much about no ice water, no ice cold things. It dampens the digestive fire. It's a shock to the body. When you take something super cold, your body is what, 98.6 degrees temperature or somewhere there. And now you're sticking super cold water in there and the body goes, what? It has to kind of take time, use its energy instead of other things to warm that water back up. So ideally, room temperature, doesn't have to be hot, but you can certainly do it the other way. Can you take it now and put it in your plastic to go? Yes. Can you put it in your metal? Absolutely. That's what I do. So I want it first, put it in the metal. So hopefully that gives you some information. Now, you're on Facebook or on social media and you see people have all these stands and they're trying to figure out how to get the wand down there and it's splashing up. You don't need to do that. If you love contraptions and think that looks like fun, have at it, but make sure it's high enough above there that it doesn't splash because you don't want to get that water up into that wand. Okay. Not good. So don't worry about making any, keep it simple, simple. This is simple. Let's move on. There are 10 steps to what we call the basic protocol. Do you have to use this? No, you don't. But there's a reason that they put out this particular 10 steps, and you're going to see why. What's the first step? You're going to drink 2 glasses of that warm water. 2 glasses, 8 cups, 16. If you can't get 2 down, do 1. One of the things I will tell you is I personally don't particularly love drinking water, and I found a lot of people are in the same boat. But when you want the water, you're going to notice it's a completely different experience. Just go with me on this. It's like smooth. It's warm. It just goes down really smoothly. You can tell because the texture of that water will change. And that's how you know it's ready and that you've got the terahertz in there. So you're going to drink some water and then you're going to start on the palms, about a minute on each palm. And how do you do it? I'm not going to turn this on for sound, but you go like this. Pretty simple. Maybe go like this. I like to go up and down my thumbs in between palms, right? There's some beautiful reflexology, acupuncture points and all of this. So as you're doing this for 1 minute, then you go to the other side, same thing, okay? You're actually nourishing, stimulating, and supporting all the different places on that hand, that the reflexology point. There's a point right here that's very powerful in traditional Chinese medicine. You're going to feel the activation. Then we're going to go down to the feet. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to take those little tootsies and you're just going to go like this. See where the point is right here, that red point, that's a kidney point. And Dr. Kim has shared all about, it is just a fantastic point to just really support the whole body. So make sure you get there. You're going to get there on the other side, on the back, 1 minute on each. Then we're going to move up. We're going to move up to behind the knees. Well, that's a weird place. Why behind the knees? Because now we're working on those lymphatic points. So what you're going to see is when you follow this, you're simply giving the body these frequencies for it to absorb, to start to unblock energy. Let's get our energy meridians moving. Let's get the lymphatic system moving so that as you continue to go, when there is some detox that will happen, that everything is moving behind the knees, in the groin, on the armpit. How do you do it? You go like this, okay? You might want to just do one pit. You could do both pits. Do it for about a minute. Do it for 50 seconds. You don't have to be super precise with this, okay? Lymph in the neck, doing the neck, maybe one side, doing it on the other side. Upper back, do it there. Can't reach? And visualize, just visualize, intend for it to be in the back. Believe me, it's not that far from here to here. It's going to get there. How about top of head? This is the only one that there really is a caveat, the top of the head. If you have high blood pressure, it's recommended don't wand up there. Okay. There are other things for high blood pressure. We're going to go down the spine, down the arms. We have specifics for that. And the butt, which probably wish they call that the tush part, but there you are. You're going to do that just right there. Same thing. And then blowing downwards on the spine. Can't reach it, the front to back. And then if you can't, drink some more water. Let's just flush out everything that's going on. So we call that the first 10 steps. Do it. It's a beautiful way to start. If you're super sensitive, maybe just drink the water for a day or two. Maybe then drink the water and do the palms. Go slowly till you see how your body's responding. If you start to get too much detox, just back off, drink the water. But here's the thing. For most of us, if we're not really chronically ill, we know we're not super sensitive. I get concerned that people worry, oh, something bad's going to happen. So they don't do it. They maybe do one or two, but you don't do enough to get a result. So really work with yourself. Know yourself. Don't stop. You cannot, it's 100% safe. Okay, even if you have detox reactions and you don't feel well for a couple days, sometimes pain can get even worse. Why? Because the body is trying to push through those blockages. I know that's concerning. And especially here in the West, we feel like, oh, I just got a bad rash. Oh, my pain just came up. No, it's not pleasant. But I want you to understand that this is 100% safe. Okay, your body is using this to push through and rebalance. And sometimes it can get worse before it gets better. Just know that's part of the healing. Do not stop. Back off maybe for a day or two. Keep drinking the water. Then maybe start about 50% and work yourself back up. Okay, that's how you're going to do it. Work with yourself. Be your own healer. Don't run and ask everybody else. Okay, be your own healer. All right, let's just show you real quickly. I want to show, I love testimonials because I really want you to get that this is powerful. Loses weight. Yes, have a lot of people who have lost weight, myself included. Why? Because as you start to rebalance the body, reduce inflammation, remove toxins. Do you guys realize that one of the places that the body stuffs toxins? It's in our fat cells. Why? Because the body, in its amazing brilliance, knows that if you're very toxic and it needs to make sure that it heals in whatever way, it's going to stick those toxins into our fat cells because it's a safe place. Right? The fat cells are inert, so it can put them in there without having any kind of life-threatening condition. So when you start detoxing, getting rid of the excess inflammation, getting rid of the excess edema and water retention, you're going to start to see what happens. The body will start to detox out some of those toxins, and the belly fat, especially belly fat, will be reduced. You can see this. It's amazing. I just saw somebody in a testimonial group say, oh my gosh, I just put some coconut oil. Somebody had recommended that. You can try that if you want. And wanted on her belly for 3 days. She's down a couple pounds. So it really can make a difference for you. All right. I love this lady. Rheumatoid arthritis. See, it's an itis. Okay. Anything itis, you know it's going to reduce that inflammation. And this sweet lady, she was able to close her fingers after just 15 minutes. She couldn't close her fingers. Okay. Isn't that beautiful? Because it relaxed the nerves, the tissues, and the muscles. Plus, it gave her that scalar or healing energy. I wanted to share this one that I just found. I thought this was fabulous. A lady was helping her mom. So here we are in the front. Look at, oh goodness, it looks like my dad was having some issues too just this week. His feet were black and so swollen. He couldn't walk. He was really having a hard time. I started blowing and absolutely the inflammation started to come down. Same thing with this lady. 1.5 weeks, she started blowing, drinking the water. Look at that. So much better. Great for skin. I talked about skin. I don't know how much you can see this, but this lady really reduced her dark spots after just one therapy. Now, I do want to say something about this. You know, we have what I love to call our one-hit wonders. That absolutely can happen. You can just do it for 10, 15 minutes. I've seen people, oh my gosh, my pain went from 10 to 3. Oh my gosh, my varicose veins went down in, one treatment. This lady reduced those spots 70% about one treatment. But it doesn't always happen like that. So if it doesn't happen for you in one day, 1 week, 1 month, keep going. Your body is healing in its priority. It knows what needs to be healed first, then second, then third. So what I like to say is be open, watch, be really conscious of all the different things that are happening. Maybe the one thing that you were so hoping this wand would help, you're not seeing results right away. But you know what? Maybe you'll notice some other things. That's what happened to me. So you can see all of this. Even with this lady, look, her skin after one treatment really got so much better. This is the reduction that somebody had shared of acne after just 1 week. And isn't that beautiful? You know, when we have skin, especially anywhere on our face or on our body that can be seen, it can be so hard for our confidence level, especially for our young people. So absolutely get it, wand, and drink the water. Psoriasis. Oh, this can be so awful as well. This one is after 7 days. It would have really been interesting to see what it looked like before they even started. And I say that because remember, as I said, sometimes it can get worse. So you can see how red. It might not have been quite as red the first time, but now it's coming out. And then after 9 days, the scales come out. Okay, this is part of the healing. If you didn't understand that, you'd go, oh my gosh, it's getting worse. I'm stopping. No, it's healing. And then after 22 days, look at that. Off it went. So great. Bell's palsy. You can see that neurological conditions. What a miracle. Okay, you can see varicose veins. This was after one. Varicose veins, really, it's so good for them. For some people, immediate. For others, just keep going. Thyroid nodules. Look at that. We talked about endocrine. Okay. And when the thyroid is off, gosh, it depresses everything. So to be able to help that is so great. So thank you guys for taking time to watch this. I'm going to stop that and come back and thank you all for thumbs up and loving everything. I appreciate that. And how long have I been using it? Thank you for asking me. Well, I've been using it since the beginning of June, end of May, beginning of June. What have I noticed? So when I got it, I didn't really get it because I had some big thing I wanted to heal. Okay. I'm 64. We all got stuff. I'm a trainer. So yes, you get the aches and pains. As a matter of fact, I just kind of strained my back. Oh my gosh. So glad I had the wand, but little things, right? So what I first started noticing this was the first thing I really noticed. And believe me, this was not why I got the wand. As we get older, ladies, we start losing hair, don't we? I love it when men say we lose the hair here and we gain it in all these places we don't want it. It's kind of like, oh my. But for us ladies, what happens is we start to lose our hair. I was losing it like in clumps every time that I would wash it. I'd have these handfuls of hair. I was like, oh my gosh, my hair's thin to begin with. Well, it was probably only about a week, 2 weeks. And I do, by the way, use this as my hair dryer. Absolutely use this as a hair dryer. Regular hair dryers put off very bad radiation. This is beautiful. I'm like washing my hair and I'm going, I barely have any hair loss. And that has continued and gotten better. My hair is getting so much thicker. So that was my number one thing. Number two, all of a sudden out of nowhere, I'm outside and I recognize my floaters were gone. Those things that just move around. Oh my goodness, they're so annoying. And then after a while, you forget you even have them. That's why I was outside going, I don't have floaters anymore. That was really exciting. I've seen lots of other people with that. Seen people whose eyesight has gotten considerably better. I think mine have, but I don't know if it's placebo. I'll take the placebo, however. I can't wait to get my eyes examined again and see. But we've had people that had to like get rid of their, and by the way, yes, you can wand, no heat, eyes closed, okay, as long as you have no kind of implants in your eyes, contacts out, obviously, okay. But I've had people that were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Now I'm putting my glasses on and it's blurry. So that's another issue. My skin is so soft. So I have suffered for many, 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 probably since I was born, eczema. And so I have really dry skin. And look, when we get older, we dry out. And that's why that water, the water is so important. Just drinking the water, I drink it all day long. And all of a sudden I'm like, wow, my skin is hydrated. And that is that I hear that all the time from everybody. Huge for skin. What else have I noticed? My aches and pains. Well, when I tweaked my back, I was able to put that on. I'm not going to tell you, in 15 minutes, that back strain completely went away. It didn't. I was so hoping I could come on and tell you it did. But the truth of the matter was it didn't. But that heat in there felt so good. And I love doing that. And then moving around, moving the fascia around there, getting a good massage in there definitely helped. So I know that that wand is improving the healing. So it probably is going from maybe taking me 2 weeks till I can get done to maybe about a week. I'll take it. So those are just some of the things. Oh, what else? I love to wand my belly. And if any of you have any kind of really digestive issues, really makes a difference. Constipation, yes, so much better. My sleep, oh my gosh, you guys. Now, I'm not going to tell you I thought my sleep was that much better. Probably took me about a month, maybe. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, like not getting up at all the whole night. Not like, let me stop, let me pull my covers off. I'm too hot, move around. No, deep sleep. That's huge for me. And yet, look, it's late in the night tonight and I'm cruising. So good energy, good sleep. So I hope that helps with all of that. Thanks. So Lynn asked, is it okay to use heat on areas that have inflammation? Yes, great question, Lynn. So this was the difference between traditional Chinese medicine and Western, right? So what TCM says is if you have inflammation, use the heat, right? And we know, doesn't the heat feel good? Like I tweaked that back. Do you think I wanted to put ice on that? Oh no, but that heat deep into that bone felt so good because they say, let's heat it, dilate. Now, something else about that that's really powerful is our fascia, the whole casing in our whole body, okay, reacts positively to heat. So it's another place. Use the heat. Western says, oh, you have an inflammation, ice it. You can use your own discretion on that. We heat. Okay. What creams do I use with the wand? I'll tell you what. You can think about this. Anything that you put on your skin and then you blow gets absorbed and into the body much quicker than it normally would. So my go-to is Dr. Kim Caporale's wonderful cream, the wonderful oil. I love it. And it's with amla oil. So it's so nourishing. I especially love it on my face. So I love to put that wonderful oil on here. And when we're done, I will include a link to it. You can go to Gracefully Made USA and look for the wonderful oil. GracefullyMadeUSA.com. And that's Dr. Kim's site. And she has amazing, beautiful creams of all kinds. That's specifically an oil that she created specifically for the wand. She also has beautiful other, she has something called the Rip Cream, Reduce Inflammation and Pain. And all of hers are super clean, super nourishing. I use that. That's what I was using on my back. So I would put that on and then wand into it. So those are the kinds of things that you can think about. You can use essential oils. So maybe if it's a hot oil, you want to use some kind of a good oil base, right? And then you put that on there. Feel free using the essential oils and then wanding. Just so great. Yes, I can post a link here. Thanks, Becky. I know let's see, I think it's HTTPS. I'm thinking. Boom, boom, boom. I hope I got all that right. Gracefully made USA.com. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful stuff, you guys. Lots. So really take time and look in that site. Dove Eyes would love to work with you. Love it. Thanks so much. And you can you can just contact me. I'll put my phone number here. And also let me say, you can just go to my website and do a contact. So I'll put that one here too. P.S. Do you think I can talk? And type. Look, see, I left off that. So my website is oh my gosh, you guys, of movement.com / just go to contact. And that will come right to me. And I would love to work with you and answer any questions, Dove. Thanks so much for asking. Can it be used for TMJ if you have a root canal? Well, that's an interesting question. So TMJ are lots of different TMJ points up in here. Yeah. So my answer is I'm thinking this through, definitely wand up in here. Okay. Even if it's in here, it should be fine. I do a lot of wanding around the ears, in the ears, different TMJ points. Look on some reflexology charts. Go just Google reflexology. You can do it for the ear, auricular therapy, and find where the jaw is. Look on the reflexology charts for the hand, find the jaw, work on that. The acupuncture points for TMJ. I'm going to write that down so I remember. We can always do a Thursday night on some of that and showing where some of those points are. So thanks so much for that. I did cover the price, Martha, for the classic. It's $350. Excuse me, guys. Premium is $1050. Pro is $3,500. So most of the people do get the classic, and it's $350 in the United States, and that includes shipping. So thanks so much for asking me that. Let me see. Did I answer all of those? I think I did. Let me just make sure. I want to make sure that I don't leave anybody off. I think we got it. So you guys, thank you so much for coming on. Thanks for the comments. And even if you're starting to watch this on a replay, go ahead and comment. I get notified and I'm happy to answer anything even afterwards. And thanks you guys so much for coming on tonight. I hope you enjoyed this and got a lot out of it. And you know what? I hope that you all have a terrific day. Thanks, you guys. Have a beautiful evening, and we'll see you again soon.